Wake up, say good morning to your loved one, eat breakfast, get ready for work, sit in rush hour traffic, work in a cubicle, drive home, eat dinner, go to bed, repeat. Over and over and over again. For decades. I am not one of those people. I cannot become one of those people for fear of losing myself. I won't go through routine without creativity. I won't live the normal life I am supposed to. I am and always was an outsider in my hometown. The foreign kid. The bilingual kid that doesn't watch football or go to church and spoke with enough of a German accent that I could not hide being different. And while I have evolved enough to not speak with a German accent, I'm still the same kid inside. I'm the outsider, the different one of 350 million Americans that is like no other. This is the story of me, what makes me different, and what to expect of me. Hi, I'm Nico, and if you know the answer to what's 9 plus 10, you also know how old I am. For those of you who remember Vine, you know what I'm referencing. I was born and raised, well, here, in the heart of Alabama, the mecca of college football, Christianity, pickup trucks, and rednecks. I've lived in the same town my whole life, and overall I would say I've had a pretty fortunate upbringing. Despite this though, life always seems to find a way to make things difficult in as unique of a way as every person is. I'll start off the story with both my greatest gift and the biggest weight I have to carry around. I'm the firstborn American in my family.
America, 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 yeah!
And technically, my first language is German.
Auf der Heide blüht ein kleines Blümelein.
Two things resulted from this. Firstly, in a place infamous for its stubborn refusal to change, or in a more positive light, a place famous for being traditional, I was the intriguing and unforeseen change to my classmates' life. I was the foreign kid, the bilingual kid that didn't really fit in. Not that I was hated, at least I don't think I was, but I was definitely the odd man out. The second thing that resulted from this was my English was terrible. Ugh, man, that was bad. My English was terrible. My English was terrible? My English was terrible. Let's go with that one. My English was terrible. Okay, well, technically it wasn't really that bad. My speaking was fine, but I was definitely a bit behind on reading and definitely with the grammar. I was a bit behind my other classmates, to say the least. This, along with not going to church or following football religiously, cemented the fact that I was not a true Southern boy. Even now, I don't really fit in, but I'm finally okay with that. Oh god. Nope, missed again. Hold on, I can get this. Yeah. Eventually though, I got to middle school and I entered the worst stage of my life. In part due to the fact that I was a band kid. Now, if you're a band kid, I don't mean to put you down in any way. Low-key, being able to play any kind of instrument is really damn cool. But when I was in band, it was honestly kind of lame. And to add on to that, the other part of why middle school was horrible for me is because I was also short, a little bit pudgy, I was struggling with math, and I was also obviously going through all of the usual puberty things. Middle school was weird. It's a tough time. You're going through a lot of changes, both physically and mentally. You're trying to learn what's going on with your body and why your friends are changing. And on top of that, you have to learn algebra. Talk about a struggle. And all these other things that you're being forced to learn in school, chances are you're probably not really that interested in. And honestly, for me, it was a low point of my life in terms of finding any enjoyment in school or learning generally. This persisted in high school, except now I was wrestling with what my heart wanted to do versus what my brain told me would be objectively better to do. It's funny how the brain works like that, kind of split in half between the emotional side and the logical side, and slowly, continuously tearing itself apart. And all you can do is block out your heart, let your brain tear itself apart, or you can follow your heart. Here we go. Basic survival instincts tell us to stay away from anything uncomfortable, to take the safe route. It's why you talk yourself out of doing things that you would otherwise do on an impulse. That's the brain, or rather the logical part of the brain, keeping you alive. But the heart. Okay, technically it's just the emotional side of the brain, but I'll still call it the heart. That tells you what you want. It takes you to experiences, to opportunities to feel, to future memories. The heart is what makes us feel alive. And it's also the other half of the dilemma that everyone faces. The dilemma of whether to follow your heart or to listen to your brain. The dilemma of whether to play it safe or to feel the thrill of being alive. This dilemma plagued me in high school as well, because quite frankly, I'm a big dreamer. I knew I wanted to make content in some way, be it on TV or in the movies or on YouTube, and logic took away two of those, the most difficult ones, the most unlikely ones to happen, TV and the movies, and logic even still digs at me today following my dreams on YouTube. But before I took that plunge, I blocked out my heart and went to college for electrical engineering. I had spent my whole life disliking being in school and learning all sorts of things I wasn't interested in, and my view of learning in school had not changed one bit when I went to college. Ironically, the logical decision would have been to find something else that I would enjoy, but I instead blundered along, stubbornly blind even to rational thinking. There's only so much one can take, and with COVID making school even more undesirable, I took a gap semester after a year and a half of numbly stumbling through college, finally making videos for my other YouTube channel. Yes, a different YouTube channel. It's called Nico Motor, N-I-C-O Motor, all one word, and it's all revolving around cars. Check it out if you want. This was the first step to having a truly successful career. A career where you get to work, not one where you have to work. The second step is a work in progress, but let me quickly get you up to speed on the process. I started off making some comedy sketches around cars, and that eventually changed reviews until I eventually landed on a format that I liked. I have since continued with that format, finding some successful videos here and there, but I still felt trapped in a box. I didn't just want to teach, I wanted to tell some stories from the perspective of a 5'11" tall guy. On my other channel, I'm very analytical, very logical, and I needed a medium for my heart to talk. This channel is that medium that lets me feel unconstrained. There are a few things I've learned in my 21 short years of existence, which I will try to teach you through this channel using my own stories as an example. But I want to leave you with two messages. Firstly, listen to your heart. It knows where you will be happy and what it needs in order for you to be happy, but what it does not know is how to get there. And that's where the logical side of your brain comes into play. You have to let your heart be the guide, in essence. Your heart will be the leader. It will forge the path, so to speak, or at least it'll run ahead like a crazy dog that's caught a scent. And your logical side of the brain will be like you holding back the leash and trying to restrain to some extent, but also guide the dog where you want it to go. or how you think it should get to wherever the dog wants to go. And this is ultimately the key to being happy, I think, with your career. It's ultimately what leads to our idols, be it in sports or movies, TV, whatever it is, to having their dream jobs. The jobs where they get to go to work, not the ones where they have to go to work. The second message I want to leave you with is this. Your life will not go according to plan. I've experienced this with my own channel. What the heck is crawling up my leg? Oh, it's a spider. I don't want to be Spider-Man yet. I want to be Spider-Man one day. That'd be cool. Anyway, the second message I want to leave you with is this. Your life will not go according to plan. I've experienced this with my own channel. I started off thinking that I would do comedy skits and then transition to Doug DeMuro style car reviews. And if you don't know who Doug DeMuro is, it doesn't really matter. It's a very specific but information heavy style of reviewing. And I thought that's what I was going to do. Instead, it went from comedy skits to reviews, which I then discovered I didn't really enjoy doing. And then there was an experimentation phase of what I wanted to do until I finally settled on basically teaching what is going on in the automotive industry. Kind of sit down in my room with the air conditioning on, which is part of the reason why I didn't want to do reviews, and just talk about what is going on in the automotive industry in a more simple form than a lot of informational videos tend to be. A lot of informational videos tend to be very in-depth, which is great, but I've always looked for some kind of a video that would be like an intro into the more in-depth topic. Some kind of like a quick step into it. And I never found that. And so I decided I would be that kind of step that I've always wanted to be, to have this kind of concise, still somewhat in-depth, but more of a general overview of what is going on and why it's happening. And that's ultimately what I settled on with my other channel. I never expected to go to that, to talk about the EV tax credit, or transparent solar panels, or how some TikTok users caused a nationwide theft epidemic. I never expected it, but lo and behold, that's where I am. On a final note, most of you are probably more creative than you give yourself credit for. So chances are that you will have one idea, start on it, then have a better idea and go all out on that, until you get an idea of how to combine the first two ideas, or you just get a brand new idea. And this path, forged by curiosity and excitement, will continue until you look back at the end of your life and you think, damn, that was a fun run.